been quite a while, and we figured that you'd want to know what we're up to, why we decided to do this. This is our first video without editing. We're learning editing, so we're trying to do this in one take.
So it's not going to be perfect, but it might be entertaining.
Hopefully. But like I said, we thought we should let you guys know why we decided to do this, what made this idea come up in our head. And I want to go back to Ecuador. We went to Ecuador in February of 2018. It's a beautiful country. We drove 1,100 miles. No, Ryan drove 1,100 miles through the Andes.
And if you've ever driven in Ecuador, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
People passing on one lane highway or mountain passes. It's crazy.
Like a 4,000 foot drop off, no guardrail. Buses passing on blind curves. It was crazy. Jason and Andrea know what we're talking about there. But we went to Ecuador because we were thinking it would be a good place for us to retire. And it is a beautiful country. We saw the mountains, we saw the beaches, we saw the cities. The currency is U.S. currency. The exchange rate is awesome. Even though it's U.S. currency, it's been described as the U.S. in the 1950s. Our first night's hotel room, which came with breakfast the next day, was $17.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
The most expensive night we had was on the beach in Montanita. I think we stayed 3 or 4 nights there.
It was like $60 a night.
I think it was 80, but it was somewhere ridiculous like that. It was on the ocean and within walking distance to lots of cool little restaurants and shops and stuff like that. But when we got back from that trip, I think both of us thought, we've done a lot of traveling, a lot in the United States and some globally for sure. But I got this idea that maybe it'd be cool not to have an address.
Which, thank you, Richie and Lauren. All our mail is being forwarded to them in New York.
They're our address right now. But I think that notion really intrigued Ryan, and he started watching sailing vlogs video logs on YouTube.
Sailing Uma, Sailing Zatara, SV Delos, and there are many more. And a lot of these people, they're living on their sailboats and sailing around the world.
Gone with the Winds.
Some of them with family, with kids, and Sailing La Vagabond is another one.
They had a baby on their journey, but that sailing lifestyle really seemed appealing to us.
Because you can sail to many places off the beaten path that are extremely hard to get to by air, or
extremely expensive to get to by air. And then you got to pay for a hotel, and you got to eat out in restaurants. And so we've, you guys know us, you know that we have a boating history, but all motorboats for me. Ryan's flipped a Hobie Cat once or twice in his life. But so we went to La Paz, Baja California Sur, this late January, early February, and we got a 1 week sailing vacation where we're actually...
It was more of class.
Yeah.
We had books, we had 4 books to read, and we had tests, and skills tests.
And we were, skills tests, learning everything about operating the boat. Thank you, Murph! Captain Kevin Murphy and our friends Chris and Allie that we met on the boat. We all got 4 sailing certifications that week, and when we got back, Ryan and I thought, you know what, we have to do this sooner rather than later. These skills are fresh in our heads, so let's make this happen.
And we started looking for sailboats in Seattle, and we looked at a couple, but they were not seaworthy. People were living on them. They didn't even have instruments.
Or a mainsail.
Or a mainsail. And they were expensive, a lot more expensive than what we can get if we're in the Caribbean, Fort Lauderdale area.
Florida, yeah.
So that's why we're making our way eventually to Florida to buy a catamaran. So then we were like, well, how are we going to get there? We could fly and send our stuff in a pod, but then where are we going to stay when we get there?
And there's the problem that we own so much stuff so much art and shoes, clothes, kitchen equipment.
Kitchen equipment.
We're in the restaurant business. Well, people who don't know us will now know that we were in the restaurant business. So we had a restaurant to sell and close, and it just seemed like a lot to do. So we scheduled an estate sale and pretty much turned over everything to these people who literally sold all of our stuff, and then what they didn't sell.
We came back to the house and the house was completely empty.
Except for Cupid was still there, and Limestone from Juliana was still out front, but was going to be picked up. But Cupid's not sold yet if anyone's interested. At any rate, yeah, we came back to an empty house. They did exactly what they said they were going to do. They sold everything, and what they didn't sell, they gave to Goodwill, and they left us with an empty house. So
which was great.
It was great. Nothing
so now
to worry
let's
about.
go to buy an RV. We debated about travel trailer. We actually bought a travel trailer to tow. Then we were like, that's going to be a lot of work to set up and then tear down to tow again. And we bought a small one. We didn't buy a big one because we didn't want to buy a big truck
to pull it. And then we thought, well, wait, this could take us a while to get to Florida. That's going to be too small to live in that long. And that would mean that we'd have to put all of our possessions in one of those pods
and ship our possessions to Florida,
not knowing where we're going to live when we get there.
So we started looking at Class A motorhomes, and to tell you the truth, they're very daunting. You haven't driven anything this big.
It's like a school bus.
And she's right, it is the same length of a school bus, but the sheer height of it is very intimidating. At least it was for us in the beginning. But we have storage underneath. We have all our possessions with us. So when we get to Florida, we just start the hunt for a boat, and then we move all our possessions from here to the boat.
So that was the thing. We decided, in the estate sale, we have to sell everything that won't fit on a sailboat or a motorhome. And this 36-foot Fleetwood Bounder 2015, it had 11,000 some odd miles when we bought it, has so many bays underneath, lots of storage underneath, and lots of storage inside. Later in the video, we're going to show you a little tour of the motorhome. But the other things that we had to do to make this happen was that we had to leave Seattle April 22nd, even though the estate sale wasn't until May 3rd, because they needed that much time to catalog, organize, price, and stage everything, and they did not want us in the house. So, and that was actually really good. So we did find this motorhome. We closed on the purchase of it in March. Our really best friends in Washington, Jeff and Billy Joe, they let us keep our motorhome, which we are calling Destiny Unbound, at their home on Camino Island, which is beautiful. And it was great because we got to spend many last weekends with them. We'd go up and bring a load of stuff, put it on the motorhome, hang out with them, go back to Seattle. I think we did that 3 weekends in a row.
4 weekends. We did that 4 weekends.
But then April 22nd, when it was time for us to go, we left their house on Camino, and that first little 45-second video that is on YouTube right now was taken in front of their home. And we hit the road. Where did we go? We went to Oregon, and Oregon is absolutely
gorgeous,
beautiful.
I think the first place we went was
Silver Falls.
Silver Falls,
and it's a state park.
And they have lots of waterfalls, hiking trails. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Waterfalls you can walk behind, waterfalls you can walk in front of.
And you'll see all those videos coming up.
Yes, coming up. We have almost 1,000 photographs and probably about 40 videos. We have a lot of work to do to post the places that we've been and what we've seen, and we have seen some amazing things. From Silver Falls, we went to Sunset Bay, which is on the Oregon coast, and I don't know why I can't say enough about it. It's just stunning. The landscape there is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty challenging driving a big rig down that highway.
Yeah.
For your first major trip.
Yes, but you did a great job.
Yeah.
You did a great job. And from Sunset Bay, we went to Crater Lake National Park, which most of it wasn't even open yet. We stayed at an RV park called the Crater Lake RV Park outside of the actual park, and it was a great location. And the people that...
The highlight of that trip was we're towing a Jeep. And we've never owned a Jeep before. Never thought we would buy a Jeep.
That's right, I forgot. We sold our cars, both of them.
So I did research and what's the best car to tow 4 wheels down. And pretty much everything came out a Jeep Wrangler. So we sold our cars, bought a Jeep Wrangler, and this RV park told us about this road that you take up. It's a forestry road. Take it all the way up to the mountain, and if you have 4-wheel drive, you can make it. And we made it. And
to Flounce Rock.
It was crazy. You'll see those pictures and videos in the future.
One thing that was cool about Flounce Rock when we got up there is that you couldn't really tell which was Flounce Rock, and there were a lot of cell towers there. So we took a little path that looked like, oh, it's gonna take us to Flounce Rock. Took us to a pet cemetery, which that'll be in another video. But then we did come back out and we saw Flounce Rock, and it did have an unbelievable, about 275 degree vista looking in all directions. And the people that own the Crater Lake RV Park told us about this. They were really cool people. It had some hiking trails right next to it, one that would take you to the river and one that would take you to a lake.
From there we went to Crater, and then
from there we went
Yellowstone,
back to Seattle.
Back to Seattle, and then we went to Yellowstone.
Well, we stopped off at Coeur d'Alene, Missoula, Montana, which is very cool. Very cool.
Show you more about that later.
And then
we went to Yellowstone.
North Entrance, Gardner, Montana. Can't say enough about the little town.
We'll bring photos and videos from there as well. From there, we met up with Chad and Aurelia.
Yep. Hi, Chad and Aurelia.
Well, actually, we came to Vegas and then met up with them, Chad and Aurelia, at Yosemite National Park.
We had to go to Vegas from Yellowstone because the direct route from Yellowstone to Yosemite, there were 3 back-to-back Pineapple Express storms, which was dumping unbelievable amounts of what's almost summer snow in the Sierra Nevadas, like 30 inches of snow, and they were saying chains required, and we're like, we don't have chains, and how are we going to drive a 36-foot motorhome through the Sierra Nevadas with snow like that? So we went all the way down through Utah into Vegas and then up the other direction to get to Yosemite. It was totally worth it. It's a beautiful park. Another video.
And then we went from there to Santa Cruz
to hang out more with Chad and Aurelia. And then from there, we came back to Vegas.
So we're in Vegas now.
We needed to have our air conditioning unit. There are 2 of them. One of them wasn't working. And we decided that Vegas would be a great place for us to practice our editing skills, get some instruction from Apple, not pay a huge amount of sales tax. Things are a lot cheaper here
than in California.
And so we decided to have the RV serviced here. And that forced us to spend 3 nights at the Golden Nugget. I know, forced us. We had fun, but we really missed our rig. We really missed living in our space, and we were really happy to get it back.
If anyone stayed in a hotel with a dog, you know what I mean.
Oh man, poor Red. Having to take him down every morning. And the Golden Nugget had its pet area that was about 8 feet by 5 feet.
That was stupid.
It was ridiculous, but at any rate.
So we're back in Vegas, and our next stop is
We are headed to Utah. We're first going to Zion, and then the Canyonlands, Arches, Bryce Canyon. After that, we don't have a lot of plans. We are going to see our family in Austin and Oklahoma City area, and then up to Indianapolis to see friends and family, and then up to Fort Wayne to see friends and family. From there, we plan to head east. We're hoping that we can catch a show by Fish, our favorite band. They haven't announced whether they're going to do another camping festival or not at Watkins Glen, but we're hopeful. And then stay in with Richie and Lauren in Wappingers Falls for a bit. And then, I don't know, it would be fun to head up farther northeast and make it all the way to Maine and then come down the East Coast. But eventually we'll head down the East Coast, and we want to make it to Florida by the end of hurricane season.
And then we'll start looking for a cat.
A catamaran. We want a 45 foot, right around there, gently used. We're super excited about it. So I think we're gonna take you on a little video tour.
You're gonna take them on.
Yeah? Okay. All right. I think, let's check my notes. I want to make sure we didn't leave anything out. Oh, we've had lots of time without cell service or internet. So that's another thing, is like, this is the first chance that we've actually had internet. Ryan figured out, he got a Wi-Fi extender. It's a King Falcon, which is supposed to be one of the best ones on the market right now, at least by King. And we are very satisfied with it so far. It's worked nicely. And cell service, he went with T-Mobile. I stayed with AT&T. Usually we can...
At least one of us has a bar.
Some decent service. Sometimes we have none, and so if it's been a day or two and you haven't heard from us, that's probably the reason why. But we're in Vegas for one more week, and
it's hot.
Oh my gosh, we were at Lake Mead 2 days ago. It was 107. We went again yesterday. It was 109. Only it was a totally different day. Like, the lake was choppy and it was windy, but it was still beautiful, and the water temperature is 75 degrees, which is amazing. So I'm going to show you the rig in case I forget when I sign off. If you liked this video,
like and please share.
Please share, please tell your friends, please subscribe. We're going to be creating a Destiny Unbound Instagram and Facebook pretty much in the next day or two. So please follow those links as well, and we hope that you've enjoyed this. And now let me show you what we kept and what we love about this rig. Okay, so this is our rig that we call Destiny Unbound. I can't remember whether to call it a motorhome, a motor coach, a rig. There's so many names, but I just like to call it home because that's what it is. So this is our little entry here. This is the cockpit. We have these covers because we have Red. There's Red down there. And he likes to jump up in the seats when we leave so he can see where we went, and his little claws were gonna ruin the seats, so I feel like I'm 80 years old with chair protectors, but anyway, it does the job. There are lots of great features here, but as you can see, there's tons of storage. And up here we have a home theater system that was already there. This is our new Wally, which gives us dish TV. The satellite was already on the roof, so that's awesome. This is our Wi-Fi extender. It's amazing. It's awesome. And then all these cabinets are storage. These chairs, by the way, are extremely comfortable. Now we're entering the kitchen galley area. So we have this little dining setup that apparently will also sleep 2 children. And big pantry. Lots more storage down here. Over here you see there's like all these horizontal cabinets that's all storage. And then kitchen cabinets. Stainless steel sinks that are covered by these granite tops when we're underway. Yeah, we kept the Instapot. I make yogurt in it, and we're making country-style barbecue ribs tonight in the Instapot. Maybe we'll do some food videos too, because you guys know Ryan's such an awesome chef. Anyway, we have 3 burners, propane stove. We, especially in this heat, are doing a lot of our cooking outside. Ryan bought a Blackstone flat top griddle and he loves it. That again is probably another video. Microwave, which is also a convection oven and a fan right over it. We have a full-size fridge and refrigerator. It's so awesome because we were able to load that freezer up with proteins, and so we really just go to the grocery. We haven't gone to the grocery for meat really once. We incidentally just picked up something meat-wise, but mostly it's produce that we're buying. And I'm really happy about that. So this L-shaped sectional is very, very comfortable. This part pushes in when we're underway. So because this is all one big bump out, and that comes all the way to about here. So when we're underway, we have enough space to walk back all the way to the back of the cabin. So this is the TV that's part of the home theater system. There's kind of a mood lighting thing going on here, and then also a fireplace which is electric, and we used it a lot in the mountains because it just takes the chill off and we don't have to turn the propane heater on, which is great, saving on propane. So you can see as you look around, we've kept some pieces of art. Got Will Faust there. I don't know if you can get a shot of Will's piece, Ryan. And Fred Stonehouse and Paul Harris. Our voodoo dolls from New Orleans. This is our little globe. We used to have a big map of the world that had pins in it where we've been, and we couldn't put it anywhere. It was too big, so we had to put all the pins in this globe. You can see these are all the places we've been in the United States and South America, Europe, and eventually we're going to start filling in some of these ocean areas. This unit came with a half bath, so when we have guests, they have a place that they can go and not be in our private space. And then, speaking of our private space, it's our bedroom where most of the art is located. So, Jack Hardigan, Bev Delbeck, Fred Stonehouse, our very comfortable bed. There's another TV in here, which we really thought, oh, we don't really need that, but we're happy it's here. We've used it for sure. One thing we added was an all-in-one washer dryer unit. So yeah, you can put a light load in and it washes and then it dries it. But I mean a light load. You really can't put a full load in there. It's just not enough. And then I'm going to step out of the view and Ryan can show you our bathroom and our shower, which has a seat in it, and it's pretty amazing. So that's it. That's all, folks. See you next time.